After spending the night in Castlebar in County Mayo, it was now time to make our longest drive of the trip. We would make our way northeast until we reached Northern Ireland, with our destination being the Giant's Causeway in the north part of the country. Although it was a long trip, the drive was made much more enjoyable with stops along the way, including the grave of William Butler Yeats, the ferry bridges, and Donegal Castle. Yeats's grave is located in Drumcliff Church. The church is easy to find, as it's located just off the main N15 highway, a little bit north of Sligo. Yeats is considered to be one of the greatest English language poets, so we were both well acquainted with him from our university years. Before entering the churchyard, you'll notice a special memorial to Yeats located just outside the walls. As well as Yeats's grave, there's also a nice church you can stop by and visit. It was open for the public when we went in. It's quite pretty inside. It's not difficult to find Yeats's grave at all, as it's located right next to the entrance of the church, just a little bit to the left. You'll see the famous epitaph as you walk around and take a look at it. Thanks, Yeats, for all the beautiful poetry and wise words you gave to us. We headed further up the coast for our next destination, which was the ferry bridges. We're now in County Donegal, where we'll be visiting the ferry bridges in just a few minutes. The ferry bridges are a series of dramatic coastal rock arches found near Bundoran on Ireland's northwest coast. The ferry bridges are free to visit, and there's a decent amount of parking near the entrance. The ferries. Legend says that the ferries haunted these rocks centuries ago, and that the boom from the waves was the sound of the ferry guns. This became a popular holiday spot. Before visiting the ferry bridges, you can take in beautiful views of the Atlantic Ocean and see the surfers heading out into the waves. The beach is actually quite beautiful.
That is very pretty.
According to local tradition, people in the 1700s believed the area was inhabited or haunted by the little folk, supernatural beings from Irish folklore, known as the Easshi. These were not cute and friendly fairies. They were actually quite unpredictable and could be trouble if you weren't careful. The ferry bridges are natural sea arches that were carved into limestone cliffs by thousands of years of Atlantic wave erosion. Storms, crashing surf, and blowholes gradually hollowed out the weaker parts of the rock until arch-like bridges formed above the sea. They're not human-made, but they are rugged coastline formations hanging over the roaring Atlantic water, giving it a dramatic and a little bit of a creepy atmosphere. Our final stop on the day was Donegal Castle, located within the town of Donegal. We're now entering into the town of Donegal. We're going to be looking for some parking around here because there's no parking next to the castle. Since parking was limited near the castle, we parked at the edge of town and just walked a short distance to get to the castle. It was a nice walk on the way over. The entry fee for Donegal Castle is €5. However, we used our OPS card once again. Donegal Castle is considered to be one of the most impressive surviving castles in northwest Ireland. It sits beside the River Esk, near Donegal Bay. It combines a Gaelic Irish fortress design with some later Jacobean-style additions, making it a layered type of castle. The castle was built around 1474 by the powerful O'Donnell clan. The O'Donnells controlled much of what is now County Donegal and were among the most influential Gaelic lords in the county for many centuries. This castle became a stronghold of political authority, military defense, trade control, and clan administration. Through trials and tribulations, the castle changed hands a number of times, eventually changing and having additions made to it over time. We enjoyed our trip to Donegal Castle as it's been kept up in very good condition, with renovations and restorations giving a good sense of what life was like back in the day. We spent about an hour at Donegal Castle and felt it was time well spent. With our 3 stops done, it was time to make our way further northeast to Northern Ireland. We hardly noticed when we crossed the border, as there really is no border control. However, once we were in Northern Ireland, it was pretty clear, as there were Union Jacks everywhere. Now we know we're in Northern Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the next episode, we'll have one of our highlights of the trip as we visit the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland.